Hello everyone, it's Gigi. Welcome to Saturday Morning Makes with Jill Norwood. This is my episode 18 and I have blessed because I feel blessed to wake up to another day. So I'm gonna start with a card that was inspired by Jill, and I will show you what I used to make this beautiful card. I think it's beautiful. I used some vintage photo oxide. I used my chalk and I used the pink. I'm missing one of my dies. I used this die right here. No, I'm not. Okay. I used this beautiful Pink Fresh Studio die. It is called Fancy Oval Frame. I used a piece of paper from the Dress My Craft Dream Door. I used this one right here. It's really pretty. I used some diamond stickles. I also used my Copics. And then I used this red lead. I don't know the name. Oh, I think these are called Dear Art Girls. And I used the large one. And then I used the Sentiment Best Friends Forever. So let me show you what I made. This is what I came up with. I also used a button and some trim down here. And some lace. I forgot to pull that. That's from Dollar Tree. So she's very sparkly. I put stickles on her dress, stickles on her socks, stickles on her wings. And then on the inside, I put some more of the lace, and I put Best Friends Forever. And I just think it turned out darling. Okay, on to my next one. This one was the most labor-intensive card, but I'm so happy how it turned out. So I used several distress oxides. So I used tea dye. I used walnut stain. I used weathered wood. And I used some vintage photo. Then I again used the diamond stickles. I used some red ribbon. And I got this around Valentine's Day from Michael's. I heat embossed, and I used my Versamark ink. I used my powder. Sometimes y'all are interested in what I use, so I want to show everything. I'm told that y'all like that. So I used my Wagner heat gun. I love it. It heats quickly and nicely. And then I used my white opaque. This came from Stampendous. So I used that. All the dies I used and stamps. Let me grab those because there's quite a few. I also, for the very first time ever, used E6000 on a card. I used some dimensional squares. I used this Goop Die. I used this tag die down here. I used this large bowl die and then the hearts up here. I used this cute little gingerbread. I used parts from the apron. I used the utensils. Okay. Then I used the Infinity rectangle dies by Hero Arts. I also use these Gina Marie's X-Stitched rectangle dies. I use this My Favorite Things, what is it called? Stitched Stockings. I use the Sentiment Candy Cane Wishes. I use this Wreath Builder set by Clearly Gina K. I used Life is Better Because of You. I used the candy cane and the little gingerbread from Penny Black. And this is called Mitten Stocking. And I just recently hauled that. And then I used a piece of paper from this Moda Scrap. And I used this piece right here. And I think that's everything I used, guys. So let me show you what I came up with. I got the idea from Tina, who I think got the idea from Jill, and then I kind of put my spin on it, and I turned it into a card. And I used the dimensionals here, and I also heat embossed here. I tied a bow, did some stickles. Oh, I also used my ink, my chalks. I used the red ones up top in the corner to give them some cheek, a little gingy. And then on the inside I did this. A friend like you is hard to find. And I thought this turned out darling. I absolutely love it. I hope you do too. Okay, and for my last card, I used some Black Soot Distress Oxide. I used some Diamond Stickles. I used this Memento Bamboo Leaves. I used some Black Licorice Lawn Fawn ink. I used some Walnut Lawn Fawn ink. And then I used some Copics. I used this rubber stamp tapestry called Chamomile Bee. And they look like this. And then I used this stamp set by Simon Says Stamp called Be Yourself. I used the Sentiment Just Because. And I used some pop dots. And I used that on the hive. And this is what I came up with. I made this one a different color. She's the queen bee. And I did Just Because. Oh, and the die I used the rectangle dies, the Infinity, and I used the cross stitched again. So same dies throughout. So I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all have an amazing weekend. I still have my giveaway going on if you're interested. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.